Welcome to the Peak Performance and Peak Satisfaction podcast with Master Executive Coach Sherry Gregoff. Sherry helps business people perform better, get rewarded handsomely, and actually enjoy their work. After having her own career turnaround, she now helps other high-powered business professionals experience the same. Join the movement to work differently.
Welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here. I'm working with several new clients this month. It has made apparent, once again, just how very unique our coaching relationship is. In today's episode, I will share the needs that we all have as leaders and business professionals that aren't often met by our typical ecosystem of support. When new clients express relief and gratitude after just 1 hour together, it's because they recognize the value of having a trusted partner in the challenges that we all face. Before we jump in, I want to shout out one of my clients who had a win in this area. Here is the quote from him. Sherry saw something in me, in my own capability as a leader, before I saw it. When my own management placed me up for the next corporate title that I had been hoping for, I borrowed Sherry's belief in me until I believed in myself that I could do it. This client unlocked a new store of belief in himself by seeing my belief in him first. It sparked a new curiosity for him that compelled him to continue coaching to realize more of his potential. He saw the opportunity to borrow my belief in him, even as he built up his own self-belief. Over the course of the year that we have worked together, he has found evidence such that he is taking the exact actions to create the outcomes that he wants. As successful business professionals, our self-belief can fade over time. We experience tremendous achievements, yes, but then we aim higher. We give our all to the tasks in front of us day after day. The business environment itself serves up enough challenges to keep us on our toes. It's easy to lose sight of our track record and of how far we have come. It's common to slip into a state of insufficiency where we start to feel out of our league or overmatched by the asks around us. Our colleagues may feel the same way. Our leaders too. But when we plug into a different source of energy and inspiration, it can be enough to flip a switch in our minds that opens up broader opportunities for what is possible next. We can borrow the perspective of a coach to recognize the potential in a situation and, more importantly, in ourselves. This client has been building back up his belief in his own self to accomplish whatever he puts his mind to. Every fear or obstacle that gives him pause, we analyze and promptly dismantle. He has been on a consistent trajectory of increasing confidence in his own ability to grow and evolve, and consequently, an upward trajectory in his professional maturity, reputation, and scope. Similar victories are shared by all of my clients, and I have experienced it too in my own career turnaround. So let's hop to today's podcast content and get you on your way to experiencing this also. Someone to talk to. That sounds simple enough. We've got colleagues, friends, siblings, neighbors, maybe significant others, even therapists. In the specific feedback I receive, there are characteristics of the coaching engagement that these other relationships just don't meet. I would summarize it as having someone believe in you first, even before you see yourself as capable of what you want, or your situation as being one where it could be created. I'm not talking blind optimism type of encouragement, but instead rock-solid belief based on a proven process and philosophy that is repeatable and applicable to all scenarios. A deep knowing and conviction that there is absolutely a way to achieve the exact vision sought. This belief is one part of the unique formula of how I show up for clients that makes our relationship stand out amongst the rest as the key differentiator in their success. The part of their personal cabinet, their village, if you will, that they may not have even seen coming or realized they wanted until they saw what it makes possible. The key confidant that may be invisible to everyone else around them. Here are the 7 characteristics of my coaching that sets it apart from just having someone to talk to. In this case, it's a very specific someone, and the talking we do is also very carefully architected, as are the resulting actions and outcomes. Use these 7 characteristics to configure how you currently receive input from those around you to avoid any biases or unhelpful noise from clouding your journey. Consider how these 7 characteristics are impacting your success as you're working with me right now, or as you consider booking that free one-on-one consultation with me. Number 1, 0 judgment. Have you ever glossed over the detail of that misstep at work when relaying it to a friend? Maybe you felt a little embarrassed or ashamed or just disappointed at your role in the matter. You cringe at the thought of hearing them judge your role or contribution, so it's easier to recast it so you seem blameless. Of course, also, that feels a little like lying to yourself, and you don't really get a chance to evaluate what happened, critically or factually. In contrast, in coaching, because I am completely outside your work and home situations and 100% in your corner as a neutral party that you have hired who brings 0 judgment to the table, there is no filter. I create an environment where you feel safe and secure enough to truly hold up the mirror and reflect. Together, we go over the facts of the situation, your role, and your deepest reactions and thoughts about what's going on. As your coach, I have heard it all. No, really though. It all. Nothing shocks me. Nothing can hurt your credibility or reputation in my eyes. I am trained to be completely neutral, completely accepting of you as you are. I see your situation as a work in progress, and most importantly, I see the end game from the beginning. I see you achieving exactly what you want before it even seems possible in your own mind. When we take the time to uncover what it is you truly want from your work and life, your unique definition of success in your own terms, both in your performance and satisfaction, that vision is locked in as your guaranteed result. So when you bring a misstep to me, you can share the unfiltered situation, knowing I always have your back, and that I teach you how to always have your own back too. Shame and self-judgment have no place here or in your future, so we start disarming them and dismantling any routines you may have had around them from the beginning of our work together. You end up not only benefiting from our no judgment zone in the coaching partnership, but you end up extending it to finally quiet that inner drill sergeant voice too. This is simply not accessible from the untrained person that might usually be your someone to talk to. Number 2, complete confidence. Sometimes we confide in a colleague only to have that information used against us in the future. We may feel betrayed or realize that their agenda was present such that our own well-being was not, in the end, their priority. For business professionals, there are always different agendas with our colleagues. It's just innate in how objectives stack up inside a business. Nothing is sacred, even in heart-to-hearts. For executives, they have the added complication of the public eye on them. The media, clients, competitors, analysts, public interest groups, page 6, political parties, lobbyists, the list goes on. It can feel like there is no one that we can be honest with because the risk is far too great to our reputation and our business. This can be a lonely place, especially if the few people we do completely trust are far removed from business or can't relate or understand our unique role or predicaments. Enter the coaching relationship. By contract, this is completely confidential. Nothing shared with other parties. What is discussed is in the vault between the two of us. Beyond the contract is trust. New clients may begin skeptical of how deep the connection can go. As evidenced in a single hour with a new client last week, it can go all the way, and that quickly. We are filled with gut intuition, like spidey senses, that when we are in tune with them, they can steer us quite well on assessing intentions and potential confidants. The relief that comes in finding a trusted partner with only our best interests at heart can change everything. A burden carried alone can be lifted immediately. Watching that release is one of the most rewarding parts of my work. Lifting the weight that keeps us from being our best selves at work and at home. This is what gives me endless energy and resolve in getting this support to as many business people as possible. Number 3, pure well wishes. It's easy to wish people well. Good luck on that interview. Hope you get that promotion. But sometimes there's a quiet inner voice that gets a little bristly or uncomfortable when we watch someone else win. This comes from an often subconscious belief that one person's success means there's less success to go around for the rest of us, a finite pie of success for which everyone is trying to get a bite. The sense of scarcity can taint our ability to show up our best for others. It can be completely foreign to us, honestly. If we were self-aware of that little voice, we might be horrified, actually. Whether this is a colleague, friend, or family member, they subconsciously may like you where you are, doing what you're doing, relative to their own success. It can be uncomfortable watching a peer aim high if you are not in the same mode. It's not uncommon to receive encouragement to just keep doing what you're doing or to be content with where you are. As your coach, I want nothing more than the exact goals that you want to achieve to be met. My sole mission is your success. So there is an unabashed celebrating of every milestone on your way to achieving it, in part because of the neuroscience behind it all, suggesting that acknowledging wins begets more wins and successes. Here, there is zero conflict of interest, in that my only aim is to help you succeed. There is no scarcity lens or inadvertent competitive angle steering our work. I stand purely working in only your best interests and ready to celebrate your progress at every turn. Number 4, belief. We talked a bit about this in the client win at the top of this podcast episode, but it bears going into more detail. We business people can sometimes be light in our own self-belief. We get the promotion, and then we still feel like we have to prove ourselves for having received that promotion. We even inflict this on ourselves. When I received the promotion of my career, the final one with nowhere else to go, the one that is granted only after you've been operating at that level over a sustained period of time, it came with the warning that even so, expectations would now be raised and I needed to prove myself again as being worthy of keeping that title. Man, the webs we weave. In the military, this may be intimidation or other tactics we use to break down an enemy, but in business, we may do this to our beloved colleagues and reinforce it even to ourselves. and to our own demise. So, the listening ear that you may have readily accessible to you likely has a level of belief in you and what you are capable of that matches your own belief. A manager may be a skeptic, even from a place of affection. They may not want you to get in over your head or to set you up for failure by having you stretch too far. We need people around us who bring out the best in us. To do that, they need to see our best selves. Think about some of the most amazing relationships that you have had. When I think of my staunch supporters and advocates, they were unwavering in their belief in me. Their belief in me was often higher than my own self-belief. They would declare what felt like impossible levels of success over me, and often. I didn't realize at the time how much those seeds they were planting were taking root in me. For some, it felt like unconditional love, looking past my shortcomings and failures, and always wanting the best for me. But really, it was more than that. Their unwavering faith in my future and what I was growing into and the impact I would have called me to a higher level. If you are a parent, you may have heard how important it is to recognize progress and encourage when positive behaviors are demonstrated. It's positive reinforcement, and it works. Tearing down, laying into, shaming, and harping on a child's mistakes shrinks their self-concept and becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The same is true for us adults. If we walk around talking ourselves down and chastising ourselves for perceived failures, we break our will to try, to take calculated risks, to even believe that better is possible. Broaden this self-talk to the voices you consult. What is their level of belief? What are they saying about you and your situation? Is it empowering? Is it calling you to a higher place? If it's not, it may be time to pass on that listening ear more often than not. Number 5, audacity. Most people aren't aiming sky high. Most people don't talk openly about wanting to do the impossible. It's not always popular or relatable. In fact, it's most common for people to project their fears onto those around them. It even comes from a place of care and concern. If someone is risk-averse, they may resist change and encourage you to do the same, because their priority is more one of survival. So status quo seems like the prudent way to proceed, since it's kept us alive this long. It's also human nature for others to relate to and pile on with fears that you may vocalize to them. They want you to feel seen and not alone, so they may jump on board with your take on the situation in an aim to reassure you. Coaching, on the other hand, goes further. Of course, I want my people to feel seen and experience compassion from me. And also, I am equally, if not more committed, to telling them the tough things. Calling attention to the patterns or blind spots that they hadn't recognized or that no one had pointed out to them before. This can feel different and sometimes surprising. I am crystal clear with my clients from the start that they didn't hire me to make them feel comfortable or justified. They hired me specifically to help them create positive change in their work and/or life situation. Sometimes that requires getting a little uncomfortable. I never hesitate to say what is in their best interest to share with them. I will always put my personal comfort lower than the results that they hired me to get them. That means I say the tough thing whenever it comes to me. I do whatever is in their best interest, even if initially it can feel challenging in the moment. I deliver it with as much affection and respect as possible, because they know I have a singular objective, and that is their best interest. And so it opens their ears and hearts in a way they may not be for anyone else. There is no other relationship that works quite this clearly or with pinpoint laser focus. Noise tends to get in the way on the other relationships, whether it's manager-employee, spouses, colleagues, even best friends. Number 6, dreaming. We may have friends or colleagues that are great at dreaming big. They talk of big visions with us. Maybe they'll even suggest a vision board. But follow through, or taking the steps to create that big vision, never seems to be the focus. By definition, this kind of dreaming is of the seemingly impossible. When the belief that it can happen isn't there, neither is the will to create it. In contrast, as your coach, I see the highest version of you. I see past your stories of limitations that you believe are holding you back. I don't pick up the weight of these declarations that you may have repeated to yourself for years, or that may have been said over you by others for a lifetime. I call the end from the beginning. I see all the ways it's possible. Every time a curveball comes up that could take you off track, I see the way through it. This may sound hard to grasp. This is why it now feels natural for me, having done this work for years. I have seen this movie before. I have seen the protagonist with seemingly all odds against her or him, and then I have seen us together upend every barrier, shatter every glass ceiling, and reach that exact vision that initially seemed far-fetched to the individual. Number 7, strong. As business professionals, we may have a lot of woes, complaints, challenges, tough circumstances. When we catch up with that someone to talk to, it can feel like dumping or venting. We feel like we need to let it out or we will burst. I had a client ask me how I speak to so many leaders with significant headwinds and imagine that it must weigh so heavy on me. I gave him a response that I am sure he didn't expect. It doesn't weigh on me at all. Here's why. When we do that download of all the many thoughts swirling in our minds at any particular time, depending on the environment, it could be venting, which tends to only make us feel worse, to increase our negativity, and actually puts our brain searching for more evidence that our pessimistic perspective is accurate. When clients give me a download of what's on their minds, it may feel like a dump to them. To me, it's forensics. We are taking the swirl from the dark corners of their minds and bringing it into the light where we can take a closer and more clear look. In this environment, this exercise takes the power out of these thoughts that our brains may be recognizing as truth. Instead, we evaluate how true and how constructive the line of thinking and the conclusions drawn from the situation actually are. Oftentimes, we turn it upside down through a perspective shift. That single flip of a switch opens up a whole new set of actions and outcomes from a newly grounded and creative state. This is much more than a venting session. It's taking stock, evaluating, and intentionally setting a new strategy fueled by a new mindset going forward. This includes practical next steps to practice, either in adopting that new perspective, taking different actions, or most oftentimes, the combination of both. This is how we drive positive change. They work together, hand in hand. Without the upgraded mindset, we won't follow through on new actions. Without taking the different actions, we won't see the different results that we seek. Now you can see why this process does not weigh on me in the least. It's all with a very specific purpose. It's all future-focused. It's all continuous improvement. I am the patient guide ready with endless energy and hope to make tomorrow's experience better than yesterday. I am 100% confident in what is possible with this process because I have lived it firsthand myself, and I have guided countless people through it. It's not blind optimism. It's proven science, neuroscience to be exact. It's how we are wired and how we work. But like the PC under our desk, we can be reprogrammed. It's a set of skills and a series of steps, and it always works. With me as your coach, you don't have to worry about my feelings or my well-being. It's like a get-out-of-jail-free card, a permission slip to show up and be completely in your own self-interest. I am trained to hear it all and neutrally, even the things you haven't dared utter aloud to another. It's those very worries or beliefs that subconsciously guide us and even haunt us. By handing it over to the well-positioned and trained hands in me as your coach, you know that I can take it, and together we can disarm the bomb, so to speak. So let's recap. As leaders in business, we need a thought partner, a co-creator of the vision we have for our career and business. We tend to settle for who is around, for average results and more than mild frustration. When you invest in a coaching relationship with me, you know you've got a guide with whom you can discuss business and career, who is an active practitioner walking the road with you, not suggesting untested theory or platitudes, focused 100% on you and 0% on herself, who won't ever judge you or keep score, who won't ever betray your confidence, who is completely aligned with your objectives, with zero conflicts, even subconscious competition or her own fears, always landing on practical actions to go out and implement, always evaluating what's working well, what's not, and what we can do differently next, with endless energy and optimism, who brings tools and the process that are the recipe for transformation. This is why I am committed to sharing this message and this service with as many people as possible. The number of business people who are ready to work differently for different results in their work and life compels me to produce this podcast each week, to email my audience each week with insights and actionable tips, to post on social media daily for something very different in the newsfeed, to spark hope and growth instead of distraction and fear, to show up my best for as many people who want my help to create positive change, to impact their businesses, clients, communities, and families in a massive way. This is why I do what I do. This is why I show up. This is why I love my work. Until next time.
Looking for support in applying the principles and strategies in today's episode? Sherry coaches clients one-on-one as their trusted confidant and advisor, helping each client create the work and life they had only dreamed of. To schedule your complimentary career strategy session, go to sherrygregoff.com/apply to book time with her today. It's one simple step that can change everything.